Hi everybody and welcome to Frenemies. Today, special Purim, so happy Purim to everybody. My name is Yotam Yakoba from Peace Now. Today with me, co-host Davidi Hermelin, a candidate of Likud party for the next Knesset. A lot of things to talk about, so let's get started.
Happy Purim.
Happy Purim. Well, Bibi's investigation is getting more and more intense. We're hearing that tomorrow, Sarah Netanyahu and Bibi Netanyahu is going to be investigated together in the same time in Prime Minister's housing unit. And what do you say about this, Davidi? What's going to be?
I think that after last week we saw the so-called recommendations by the police.
Summary. They call it a summary.
Summary.
Yeah.
That's why I said so-called.
So-called.
Regarding Mr. Netanyahu, I think that then we could see how ridiculous the entire process is. Because even if everything is true, so what?
What is so what?
So what? Nothing happened. To say that presents between friends are not legal and that the Prime Minister changed his policy. You know, today we've heard that the big opponent of Mr. Netanyahu,
Yair
Lapid, chairman of Yesh Atid party, he came and said before that he never promoted this law
for Milchan behalf.
Law, yeah. And now we see that actually he did promote it. And I don't I have no suspicions that he didn't do it because of bad motivations. But because of that, this is the proof that you don't have to be a bad guy to promote this law proposal.
But Davidi, let me put Yair Lapid in the side. You know, Netanyahu, he's prime minister. He's from your party, from the Likud party. And
I'm from his party.
You're from his party, yeah. You've been there before him. Well, he has case 1,000. He has case 2,000, 3,000 and 4,000. Like, you cannot see the big picture. You can see Netanyahu is obsessed with the media. Especially in case 2000, when we see his engagement with Noni Moses, the publisher of Yediot Achronot. You know Sheldon Adelson, the publisher of Israel Hayom, is in his pocket. And now you heard about Walla News that he's probably, allegedly, has bribed the publisher and the owners of Walla News. So can't you think there is an ethical problem that the Prime Minister, he's dealing those deals with the media organization? Don't you think it's an ethical problem? It's harming the democracy?
I think that you missed the big picture. I think the big picture is that someone in the law authorities, in the police, someone is obsessed regarding Netanyahu, and we should ask ourselves, and you are a huge supporter of democracy as I am, and I expect you to ask yourself, don't you think that this obsession in the police to take little things and to make them artificially big headlines.
Let me ask you something. Okay, let's talk about case 1,000. $1 million shekel worth cigars, jewelry, and wines. This is gift between friends, Davidi. Come on. This is ethical. This is what you expect from a prime minister. For real.
I don't accept those numbers. And as I told you,
if those numbers are real, it's bribery.
I don't think so, because you cannot see connection between those presents to what Mr. Netanyahu did according to the police, which is promoting this law proposal. And as I said, since Mr. Lapid promoted as his finance minister the same law proposal, and no one will suspicion him that he did so because of presents. So this is the proof that you don't need, you don't have to get presents to promote this law proposal.
Don't talk about Yair Lapid. Yair Lapid is not prime minister yet.
No.
But let's talk about Netanyahu. If Netanyahu had created a give-and-take relationships with publishers, with billionaires like Milchan, this is an ethical problem.
No.
You must agree, if he did so, it's a problem.
But what I said, and you ignore what I said, I don't talk about
because
Lapid.
You want to talk about Lapid,
no,
Davidi.
I don't blame Lapid.
No, you say
anything.
If Lapid did it and Netanyahu did it, it's okay.
Let me finish.
Okay.
I don't blame Lapid. I just said that as Lapid could promote this law proposal without any presence, then Netanyahu promoted this law proposal, and the fact that he got presents from his friend, you don't have the connection.
The give and take situation.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying, but I must say and remind our international viewers that in the Israeli justice law, you don't need to prove there was a give and take full system. Even the proposition and the principal agreement to make such relationships, it's problematic for itself.
This is
so
true.
Netanyahu could be indicted for those things, even though he didn't fulfill his promise.
But this is true only considering only about the one that gave, not the one that could get. And this is where your mistake is.
Wait a minute, but Netanyahu is also he's in the side that gives and also takes, because he gives a regulation discount for Alovich, and he takes 1 million worth jewelry, wine, and cigars.
You are talking about
two different cases. Your prime minister have four cases.
About
Do you realize this situation?
Yeah, this is the situation of obsession by some elements some figures in the police. But the fact that he got some presents from personal friend of him doesn't mean that he will change law because of that.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
By the way, this is quite a good law.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Let me ask you one more thing. Tell me, when the indictment will come, will you stand behind Prime Minister Netanyahu?
Yes.
Even if he's in indictment, you don't think he needs to leave his office? He doesn't need to get absence, leave for absence?
There is a reason why in the Israeli law, the only situation which will force Prime Minister to quit will be when final verdict of the court.
You know, some people will say he doesn't need to be convicted. He could serve from the jail because Netanyahu is part of a royalty.
Let me finish my point. According to the Israeli law, only final verdict by the court that you cannot apply against it anymore. Only then a prime minister will be forced to quit his position. And there is a reason. Why? Because we don't want that there will be a revolution by authorities against elected prime ministers. So it does to make sure that police or even a legal advisor of the government will not be able to change the vote of the people. And because of that, I support that Mr. Netanyahu will stay anyhow in his position, because I truly believe that anyone that will say that what he... The American embassy will be moved to Jerusalem during next Israel's Independence Day. So President Trump keeps his promises as Prime Minister Netanyahu keeps them. What do you have to say about that, my friend?
Yeah. First of all, nobody undermines the idea that West Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. But I think there is a bitter taste in this declaration, because in a way it harms the mutual dialogue between Israeli and Palestinians. Because in my point of view, I would like to see two capitals in Jerusalem, and I want to see it in a negotiation towards peace. I see you shake your hands, but if we will not establish the two-state solution, we will not see any peace, no coexistence, and only furthermore bloodshed. And I'm pretty worried. I don't know. I think you are really relaxed.
Maybe you as leftist will really explain to me something, because I really I can't understand. No one doubts the sovereignty of Israel on the ceasefire, on the territories of the ceasefire line of 1949, Israel and Jordan.
Yes.
The entire world recognized those so-called borders. So who cares if the Americans or anyone else will put their capitals their embassy, in Jerusalem, at least in the western side.
Yes.
Why do we need exception by the Palestinians, so-called, to have our capital in Jerusalem?
No, nobody doubts that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. But you need to understand, and
apparently
I'm sure you understand.
No.
You need to understand. Jerusalem is a holy city for both nations, for both religions, and
the new neighborhoods in the western side are holy to anyone in the Muslim world.
David, you know that better than I do.
No, I know that this is hypocrisy. So maybe you can just say, not me, but you can say, I support the two-state solution, but I don't think that it has nothing to do with the Jerusalem, at least according to your perspective.
If the USA, if Trump want to be the middleman, if he want to make the ultimate deal that he's talking about that all the time, I'm going to make the ultimate deal, I'm going to make a peace process in the Middle East. You cannot do it without seeing the Palestinians. And I'm in the Israeli side, for sure.
I know you are in the Israeli side.
But you need to think, David, and answer me this. Which side in the Palestinian society? You know, in the Palestinian society, there's a debate, there's the dispute. How could we treat the Israelis? Should we go in a violent way, like the extremists, or we should go in diplomatic way? Which side get points in the Palestinian society when United States do those unilateral moves?
If you will let me, I will answer your question. Listen, for many, many years, we have tried the leftist attitude toward the so-called peace process, and people told us that the Palestinians must have hope if we want to get peace. And I'm telling you that hope is the main obstacle for peace, because as long as they have hope that they will have Jerusalem as their capital, as long as they have hope to have a Palestinian state, as long as they have hope that so-called refugees will come from all over the world to change the demographic situation in sovereign Israel, as long as they have hope that Israel will disappear, we will not get peace. Came President Trump and told them, stop hoping, because if you hope, you will not get peace.
Hope what? For Palestinian state?
You must.
For Palestinian state?
You must, yes.
If you don't have Palestinian state, if you don't have two-state solution, what you going to have?
Not solution.
You want to have apartheid? You want to buy a national state? What do you want, Davidi? You don't have plan. I want to tell you something.
The two-state concept is not solution, is obstacle.
Listen.
After we understand that, we can talk about any other kind of solution.
If you want go in the past that leads to a shared city, a shared Jerusalem, that you have two capitals, that you have east side and west side that could be connected together, what you're going to have, it's the same situation that you have right now. It's violence, it's poverty, neglected city, the poorest city in Israel. This is the capital of Israel? No. This is something to be proud of? The situation today is maybe in the lowest point in the past few years. And doing that act will not affect non-American president and non-American citizens, only on Jerusalem citizens and residents. And they need peace. They don't need another war. They don't need another circle of bloodshed.
This leftist attitude brought us to this situation. Because as long as I said, and nothing that you will say will not change this fundamental, clear truth, that as long as the Palestinians have hope, not just to have this ridiculous idea of two states.
Can they hope for East Jerusalem? Can they hope for a state in 67 borders?
No, because
they cannot hope for 67 borders.
It will never happen, because we will never let it happen, because they will never be ready for this to happen.
Listen, they're not a fruit. They don't have to be ready and in the right timing.
Yes, we saw all the processes of democracy in the Middle East and what happened there. Listen, we must stop this hope, not just to have a Palestinian state. But the main hope that we should stop.
Okay.
The main hope that
you know what?
The main hope that we should stop. The main hope that we should stop is the hope that
deal with the issue. Deal with the issue.
Let me finish.
Let's say you stop the Palestinian hope. Then what? You're gonna annex? You're gonna annex the territories?
Let me finish. The main hope of the Palestinians now is not just to establish a Palestinian state. The hope is that Israel will disappear.
This is the extremist hope. This is the extremist hope. Just as Benzi Goldstein and Itamar Ben Gvir, the Israeli extremists, hope to vanish every Palestinian from here.
But we are not talking about esoteric figures. We are talking about the Palestinian leadership.
The Palestinian leadership.
Mahmoud Abbas.
It's not extremist,
and
it's the best option you get.
Who doesn't recognize Mahmoud Abbas.
the upcoming eviction of the illegal outpost Netiv Avot has been postponed in 3 months. This is the Supreme Court decision. On top of things, 60 million shekels, it's the compensation for the settlers. What do you think about that, Davidi?
I think that the Supreme Court demonstrated a humanitarian attitude regarding this subject, and I do hope that during those 3 months we will find a solution that will let the people to stay in their homes where they belong. And I just want to remind us all that all the issues there are very technical. No one doubts that no one else should be there. And all the technical legal issues should be solved. And I hope that those 3 months will give us enough time to solve this issue.
So you demonstrate a lot of tolerance to the Netiv Avot settlers, but I, as you know, have a different approach. I think it's just unbelievable. This is amazing. What we see here, it's basically a reverse system of justice. Those people, and I will remind you and our viewers, they are illegal. They set foot in this ground. They didn't buy the ground with any penny. They have no permit, in any circumstances they have a permit to be there. It's illegal by the Israeli law. It's illegal by the international law. They have eviction warrant from day one, and they know they don't go there. And now listen carefully, David. Listen carefully. Each family gonna get $500,000 reward for their criminal act. This is nonsense. This is just crazy.
You have speech or conversation?
Go ahead, man.
Okay. I just don't understand how much motivated can you be with your intolerance toward Jews that just want to live in their homeland. If there is a legal issue, this is a domestic issue. And during this time of the 3 months, the authorities should do everything possible to let those people to stay in their houses, because we have national mission to settle our country.
Wait a minute.
Because we want to stop this obstacle for peace.
David, stop right there. We have a national mission. We have a national mission. Who leads the national mission? State of Israel, right?
The State of Israel.
Yes, you believe in the State of Israel? You serve and pay taxes to the State of Israel?
Yes.
So you need to be aware to State of Israel mission and law, because those people are not in any way, they're not going in behalf of Israel, the State of Israel. They're going for Moetzet Yesha, they're going for the settler movement, and they don't listen to any Israeli
organization you can find. This is our window of opportunities to settle this, because we have a goal, and we should go achieve this.
Illegally?
We should achieve this aim legally. And now we will have 3 months to find the legal path, how to make sure the Jews will live everywhere in Eretz Israel.
David, you stand behind illegal settlers? You stand behind them?
No, I don't.
So if you don't stand behind illegal outposts, so why do we need to pay 60 million shekels to illegal felons?
But you now challenge the law by criticizing the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court, no. Supreme Court didn't decide about. He decided about the postpone in the pressure of the politicians. But the main confirmation of
the Supreme Court now is under pressure of politicians, because this is a very right-wing attitude to say.
No, listen.
And I agree with that. But
what we've seen today, it's a campaign to to keep the settlers in the outpost. But it's
not
outrageous.
Campaign. This is policy to keep as many settlers as we can in Eretz Israel. And if there are some legal issues on the way,
what is some legal issues? Davidi, they are felons. This is like Sopranos. This is Boardwalk Empire.
But they didn't take it from anyone.
They didn't take it from anyone?
No, of course not.
So listen, I got
and
the
you know that. No, it's not private property of someone
It's private Palestinian land. There's people like
Ali Musa and others. Their own property. And they have invaders that invaded there before.
Davidi, they have the paperwork. You don't have the paperwork. The reason is that this land is owned privately, but by Palestinians. And you know what?
True.
And you know what? It's been taken. This is not
This is not from the Ten Commandments.
This is from the Ten Commandments. They took a land. They don't own them. This is bully 101.
But we have national mission to put them there,
the national
and
mission,
we will arrange the legal process to make sure that they will be there legally, and they didn't take this property from anyone else, anyone private.
Our national mission is to secure Jewish democratic state of Israel in the land of Israel.
Right,
but not
which is the entire territories in the western side of the Jordan.
No, David.
And we will be sovereign soon
if we want to ensure the security of Israel, if we want to ensure the future of the Zionist movement,
we must drop the two-state concept obstacle.
No, we need to look in the eyes.
And the last 25 years demonstrated to us that this path toward a Palestinian state, this is a dangerous path, and it will not lead to peace. It will lead only to a bloodshed. And we must stop. You must change this cat in your minds.
Where we
it will not. It
just
will not
annex
work.
And to make apartheid.
It will not work. This is not two options: apartheid or
So what is the
solution.
option? What is the,
there are many options.
Your leaders talking about annex the territories. What they're going to do? They're going to give the IDs to
of course
2.9 million Palestinians?
Who said that if we will say that we are sovereign there, the people...
What is sovereignty? What is sovereignty?
The people that came there as citizens of the Jordanian kingdom will be Israeli citizens.
So you're going to transfer them?
No, of course not. So they can be there as minority, protected minority, but without citizenship. You said
so
that there are two options. No,
this is
we will be sovereign.
Listen, the right wing
is
so
sovereign
hard.
in Judea and Samaria, and we will not give citizenships to the Arabs, so-called Palestinians.
If you won't give them citizenship, this is apartheid, basically. I'm sorry to give you the break news. Don't be mad at the messenger, but this is the situation.
It's not true, because you can have minorities with one citizenship in territories of
like
another
the Arabs of Israel, but they have citizenship.
No, they have citizenship, but for example, you can be Israeli in LA, you have Israeli citizenship, and you live in LA with a permit. But this is the same situation that can be here. They can be citizens of Jordan, for example, or citizens of the Palestinian autonomy, and they will not be, in any case, citizens of Israel. And the obsess of your political side to say that there are only two options.
No,
be more creative, because your way was failed.
Let me tell you this. You have two options in your way, which is apartheid and binational. This is Frenemies for today. Thank you very much for watching. Davidi, how about Purim? How was it?
Thank you very much, and happy Purim. The most important things, until next Purim, the settlers will come back to Netiv Avot. Netanyahu will stay prime minister, and the embassy will be moved to Jerusalem.
We will just have to wait and see. Thank you, Davidi, for being with me. I love you. You know that. See you next week in Frenemies. Thank you very much.
Thank you.